Tech fam, welcome to the setup process for the Nathaniel Protocol. The first order of business is to download and install Kiro. You can get that from Kiro.dev for your machine. This protocol was built with Kiro on a Windows machine in mind. Your setup might be a little different, but it does work with Kiro, Claude, any agentic IDE that takes steering files, and it will work on a Linux, Mac, or a Windows machine. Go ahead and download the installer for Kiro and install it on your machine. We're going to be moving pretty fast through this demo, but please feel free to stop the video or slow it down to a speed that works best for you. Once the installer is complete, Kiro is going to ask you to go ahead and log in. And so that's what you want to do. Now, you can log in with a Google account, a GitHub account, a builder ID, or an internal company ID. You're going to go ahead and use that Google ID. Make sure you got a Google account set up. Once you're logged in, Kiro will give you options for light or dark mode and to import settings. Go ahead and set those. Then you want to open the project file. You can save that file either in your C drive or on a flash drive like what I've done. Choose the folder where you saved the protocol file. Kiro will open it and you will see it on the left side. You can ignore any MCP errors you get at this stage, but if you want, you can click the ghost and enable MCP right there in the screen here. Now we want to go ahead and pull up our instructions. So let's go over here on the left side, open the file viewer and click on the README file. If you click on this button, you'll get a visual where it's easier to read. Welcome to the Nathaniel Protocol, an adaptive persona system that personalizes your agent experience. Go ahead and scroll down to getting started. I do advise you take some time and read the information in the README more closely after you get started. The first thing you'll do is run the Bootstrap program, and you're going to copy this command. By default, Windows open PowerShell's terminal. Go ahead and paste that command right down here into the PowerShell terminal, hit the enter key, and let the process run. You should get several system prompts from Windows. Just go ahead and click through those, say yes, and allow the process to continue through. As you can probably tell, this video has been sped up significantly. However, during this process, you'll be asked to create a username and password for WSL. It'll default with the account name of your account on your machine. You can back that out, put in any username you want, all lowercase. Then it'll ask for the password, and then it'll ask to confirm the password, and then proceed. Again, this is the Windows specific setup. The README has details on how to set this up on other systems. After the bootstrapping is done, you'll see a complete notice in the CLI. You can see that it's passed all with no errors, and it gives you next steps. So the next step is to give the chat a try here in the IDE. There's a chat window at the bottom. Go ahead and type hello in the chat and see how Nate responds. After Nate completes his init process, he'll go ahead and greet you, say hello, introduce himself, and walk you through the next steps, give you a few options you can choose from to display some information that might be useful to you. Depending on which option you chose, Nate will display some relevant information based on that choice and proceed to offer you another option. Based on that choice, you'll get an output and so on and so forth. I want you to look closely at the inputs and outputs. Nate does a good job at responding dynamically based on his knowledge and your query and surfacing useful information that you're probably looking for. Nate asks the user what they want to be called and remembers it. Nate surfaces next steps and recommendations, and All you have to do is respond, and he will lead you to the next step after that. Here, Nate recommended installing Kiro CLI with WSL so that the user could get the benefit of having multiple instances that work from the same KB but are independent agents with their own context windows and can do their own work. So you truly get the benefit of working with two agents in the same environment at the same time. Speaking of, to get started with the CLI, you're just going to navigate over to the terminal. And if it's in PowerShell mode, you'll just type WSL to enter the WSL terminal. And then you want to type the Kiro-CLI space chat. You're going to choose use for free with your Google login, same way you did with the email. Hit enter, the Kiro login webpage will open. If it doesn't, you can hold down Control and click the link directly in the CLI. The window will open. You're going to choose the Google login. You're going to enter your Google email address. Once you're validated, it'll say you can close the window, return to the IDE, and you'll be ready to go. First thing to do is /model, hit enter. You'll be faced with a selection of models that you can choose while using Kiro. 4.5 is going to be your highest on the free tier. When you pay for Pro, you get the Opus 4.6 Claude models with the 1 million context window. You definitely want to use that. It'll change your life. First time you make a tool call in a session, Kiro makes you give explicit permission. And so you'll hit the T to allow during this session, and then you'll down arrow twice and hit enter so that the entire tool is used and not just a single command, so it doesn't have to keep asking. And then you have arrived. You now have two working separate Nate agent instances that you can ask questions, give tasks, build out your personal portable context layer that you own and that you keep with you at all times. See that little number next to the percent sign? That is how much of your context window you have used. You can use /compact and hit enter, and it will compact that context into a smaller size. It'll create a summary of the context and keep that loaded and lower the size of your usage. Now, as it is stressed in the README and the case study, I'm going to stress it also here. I cannot say enough, save and save often. Save is how we capture our reasoning, our knowledge, our session history, all of the intellect and cognitive context layer that Nate needs to do his job. We capture that during saves. And so we save often. Whenever we get done with several intense turns of back and forth conversation, go ahead and hit save. Things happens, crashes happen, auto compacting happens. You don't want to get caught with your pants down on a really intense, important session where you had brilliant ideas and the computer crash or the auto compact happens before you get a chance to save. So all the richness of that save is lost. I usually like to go no more than 75% before I go ahead and hit a save. Never allow the context window to be filled above 90% before you save. That's just a general rule for 200,000 token and smaller context window sizes. For when you start getting into million token context windows, you want to save no later than 45% of the context window consumed. Once you get over 40%, the quality of the model's responses is degraded heavily when you're working with very large context windows. And anything over 60% is like schizophrenia for a large language model. I mean, it just goes straight down the crapper after you're over 600,000 tokens consumed in a context window. So be mindful. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I know for my engineer friends out there, my developer friends, this is going to be cake. But I really made this protocol a public template for everyday folks like me who are interested in AI and how it can help them organize their lives, but who do not live in the terminal and who do not know anything about coding, to go ahead and get started and use these frameworks and platforms in a more substantial and powerful way to not only organize and optimize their workflows for their careers, but in their personal lives as well. And I hope this protocol gives some great ideas to the community to come out and add to and build up and create the future of how we use these models, these agents, these frameworks. Until the next one, peace.